Welcome to the Money GPS Live. I want to thank everybody for coming on in. Let's get going. Everybody is in the house for the truth. Let me know if I'm a little bit choppy in the audio. Had some complaints yesterday, and I believe it was the stream that was chopping a little bit. So let me know, please. All right, how is everybody feeling tonight? Let me know where you're coming from. I'm just getting the control room set up on my side. Good stuff, looking good. The ice bath. We got an ice bath going on over here. That's intense. Virginia, Vancouver. Awesome. All right, waiting for the truth. Yes, yes, yes. Kelowna, BC. Excellent. Southwest Florida, Dallas. Good stuff. Got my like in already. What about you? Yes. Hit that like, guys. Come on. 7 likes so far. 39 people in the house. Let's do it. Let's hit that. Brazil is in the house. Greetings. Thank you. Thank you. All right. SoCal. Excellent. All right. I got about 5,000 emails in my inbox. What else is new? I want to talk about office real estate specifically today. We could worry about the residential real estate another day. I want to focus on office real estate. I've got some information to show you. We're going to look at what a commercial mortgage-backed security is. I'm going to give you the website you need to know directly for that and show you the breakdown of what's in these commercial mortgage-backed security derivatives. If you stay with me on this one, I will bring it to you within this first 10-15 minutes, okay? So definitely stay tuned. I'm going to bring you information that you just do not find in the mainstream, and the alternative is unfortunately just clueless. They're reading ticker symbols. So stick with me on this one. I'm going to give you some really good details, okay? I'm going to do it in the next 10 minutes. Just want a few people to show up. Let's see what we got here. Prince George, Virginia. Like it up. Keep kicking it. San Fran. Hello, hello, John. Right. New York in the house. Good stuff. I love the fact that we get people from all over the world, like every age group, like everything in the Money GPS. To me, that's fantastic. I love the fact that it's so varied. There's so many different types of people that I've met over the years through the comment sections, through emails, all types of things that it just shows you that people from all over the world are interested in the truth. That's what we unite around. If it has to be defined by one word, it would be truth. All right. It's not just like a one-liner, like a tagline. You came here for the truth. It's really about us coming here. It's not about me. It's about us. Boston. Hope to see a continued pullback of PMs. Are you looking to buy? Is that why? New Jersey. We joke around, but also we listen to what you say and appreciate it. Yeah, of course. I mean, you gotta have fun, right? Like, it's funny to talk about the kittens and like all this, and just seeing Jerome Powell acting so ridiculous up on stage, and I call it stage for a reason. It's fun. It's fun to just talk about that and try to just highlight what's really going on. Okay, guys, 31 likes. Let's get those thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up. Let's do it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing the lives, to be honest with you. I've been putting out so much content. Going to bed, quite frankly, too late at night, just because just pushes the time forward a bit with doing the lives. We'll see how it goes. My intention here was to do it for an extended period of time and see if I can trigger the algorithms to kind of give it a bolt, a jolt. But so far that definitely has not happened. In fact, it's been quite the opposite. I've been losing subscribers. I've seen those time frames before. When I released my Amazon course, I lost 1,000 subscribers overnight, which was interesting. But anyway, I'm just doing what I can, but I thought maybe this would help out. So far, it has not, so we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm able to connect with you, and that's the important thing. Euro dollar, yeah, isn't that what Snyder? This Snyder, everyone loves to talk about Snyder and what he does. I wouldn't have any additional information on it than you could get from him. How to pay off Venezuela's debt? Buy Bitcoin. Yeah, if the government held Bitcoin instead of their worthless currency, but now it's going to take a lot of bolivars to buy Bitcoin. I'll tell you that, unless they've got dollars hanging around. Mason from Florida in Kuwait right now. Wow. All right. It's got to be late there. Wanted to buy precious metals. Yeah. I mean, I haven't checked today. Actually, I'll pull that up. Haven't had a chance yet. I'll pull up my charts right now. I'm going to be showing you guys office real estate today. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. Looking at Bitcoin at about 45,600 and gold at 1725. 1725. Gold is still below the Bollinger Bands. It's unbelievable. The downward pressure is just crazy on gold and silver at all times. It's not about what, like, it's just wow. How much sleep do you get? I get about somewhere between like 7.5. I would say 7.5. All right. What role do the SDRs play? Currently, they're basically like the IMF takes your money, your tax dollars, and they utilize that to loan out to different countries. And if they utilize these loans, what they're doing, like an example of Greece, or actually many examples I talked about in both my books, that they would take them and loan them to this country. The SDR, it's really a completely synthetic currency. That's the way I would look at it, because ultimately they're just taking Canadian dollars, US dollars, and so on, putting them in a pile and calling it. It's like theft. They take it from you, and then they say, yeah, well, now we're going to give out these SDRs. Anyway, they end up loaning them to different countries. They say you got to do this, this, and this, and if you don't, you're in big trouble. Well, of course, if a country doesn't follow along, they are now in servitude to the IMF, and they create these austerity measures and ultimately do the bidding of the globalist elite who want the pieces of that pie. And Greece was a good example of that. No matter how much they fought, no matter how many protests, no matter the referendums that were put in place, they said, do you want, they did a whole like referendum thing. They asked the people of Greece, do you want a bailout? You decide, let the people decide. And the people voted no. It wasn't overwhelming. It was probably like a 60-40 or something like this, the split. But anyway, they voted no, don't do it. The next day, the government came out and said, we're going to accept the bailout. They do not care. People, we'll just get a new government. We'll get a new government in. Yeah, that guy, he was bad. We're going to put the guy in. And the same thing happens. The same thing happens. People need to wise up. Don't mortgage-backed securities make it almost prohibitively difficult to renegotiate a troubled mortgage? I don't know what goes on the inside of that in the derivatives, but it's a disaster just waiting to happen. It's yeah. All right. Get the merch, people. Support him. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anybody who gets the I Love QE t-shirt, I love that one. I think that's probably one of the ones that I sold the most out of. Most of. It's a fun one. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. Anything that you do is supporting me, so I specialize that. I do remember you. I do remember you. I do specialize in picking winners. I think I was in an under 4K sub club maybe before that. Wow. I do remember your name. Quebec City, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am still in the Amazon course, just dragging my feet. Yeah, do what you can. I'm telling you, highly recommend it. If not to sell on Amazon, but just learn e-commerce. Just teaches you e-commerce and how to build an actual brand instead of just let me just pick a product to sell online. It's not that. That's not what the course is for anybody interested. There's approximately 10,000 people in that course. Not sure how many people actually took action with it, but the value is unbelievable considering that other courses out there will charge you $1,000, $2,000. Okay, I'm about ready to show you what I got. All right. Let me see. Okay. We're here to listen to you slightly, Jeremy. You can re-engage by asking the audience a specific opinion on something you already know the answer to. All right. Okay, guys, let me show you this. Sharing my screen. Take a look, okay? So first things first, let's look at what a commercial mortgage-backed security is, okay? CMBX index, commercial mortgage-backed securities index, coming from the IHS market website. Okay, here we go. CMBX index is a synthetic tradable index referencing a basket of 25 commercial mortgage-backed securities. Okay, it just breaks it down. Oh yeah, it's going to be so fantastic. Transparency, standardization, sentiment monitoring, and liquidity. All the details are there, okay? Next, let's look at this. I'm going to show you the breakdown of the most common one that I believe Carl Icahn was shorting, okay? One of the two of these, I don't remember off the top of my head. Here is the CMBX 6. So you're going to see the breakdown. Multifamily, retail, office, lodging, industrial. This one is brutal, okay? Retail has performed very badly overall. It's 40%. Office is 27% and lodging 10.4%. If I scroll down, I think there's, yeah. Then it just shows you the 10 largest retail loans behind CMBX 6. Gives you the, the current loan balance. Look at this, like 134 million. Crazy, right? Crazy. And then it shows you the state and so on. That's one thing. Hold that thought. Okay, I'm going to give you this. Share my screen to the other one, to the 10. All right, let's look at the 10. All right, CMBX 10 collateral breakdown by property type. Multifamily 6.8%, retail 30.3%, office 30.6%, lodging 13.7%, industrial, so on. Looking at this, you see the relatively even breakdown between retail and office, both of them which have performed poorly, a little bit extra on the lodging. None of these have done well over this period, but you watch the performance of this initially had done terribly, but because of the desire for more yield and more risk, because interest rates are remaining low, these had actually come, they bottomed out and they started to come back up, believe it or not, despite the fact that nothing good has happened with retail, office, and so on, okay? As far as I'm concerned, the long term. So what I believe is that as soon as we go into a zone of, we're going away from that risk, investors want to sort of step away from it. They will probably be dumping this garbage as fast as they can. That's my opinion. I think this is going to happen. This is weakest link. And I talked about this somewhat in the interview I did with Lance Roberts that posted, I believe, on Sunday. If you haven't seen that already, highly recommend checking it out. But this here just gives you a little bit of insight to something very, very specific that is weak and that is likely to be a problem. If not, I'm not saying that it's going to collapse the entire system, although that is a possibility. I don't know what happens in the future. This in itself is extremely weak because you can look at the residential side and say, hey, people are way over their heads. We know that. But it doesn't necessarily, just because the prices are high and people are have too much debt, doesn't necessarily cascade into a collapse. This in itself, though, the commercial mortgage-backed securities are a disaster waiting to happen. Okay, that's my message for the day. All right, the rant GPS. Here we go. Refuel. Wait a minute, I forgot to get on Instagram. I forgot to have all 5 people on Instagram notified about live. Jeez. Let's make that happen. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here. It's really difficult to manage all this. All right. Let's go live. Here we go, guys. All right. Let's see. Instagram. People are coming in. Thank you for being in today. Let's see what we got here. Super chat. Thank you. Awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your support. How long will physical cash be around? I think it's going to be a little while. I think it'll be around a little while, but I think that they can. Hello from New York. Thank you. Hey, David. I think that. Okay, here's my opinion on. I mentioned this recently. What I believe is that they're going to probably go towards some sort of universal basic income. If this happens to come around the time of the central bank digital currency, they can offer it this way. They can get people onto this cashless society by offering them free money and utilize this in a way that basically traps people into the system. Hey, you want to use it? You want to use this system? You want the free money? Give me your biometrics. Give me whatever it is. Okay. And in doing so, they basically will find their way to get people off the cash. Even today, let's be honest, most transactions are not with cash. They might be with a debit card, an Interact card, some sort of bank card, but not necessarily cash. I think that's changing over the next while, where more people are using Apple Pay and whatever, Google Pay, and sort of like a real digital type transactions that are taking place. The stores, I think for the stores, they don't like cash. A lot of them depends on how they're running their business, but a lot of them don't like cash because they don't want to have to worry about people coming in and taking it and so on. They don't want to have to go to the bank every night after it's done with an envelope full of money. That's not fun for these people. They'd rather just, when they're closing up shop, they can just kind of see if the cash balance is all right, all good. Now, like a time frame, and I really don't know. Something's going to change. Something will change in the next, let's say, in the next crisis. Whenever there's another crisis, I think there's going to be sort of a leap forward. That's my guess anyway. And I think it might have something to do with the universal basic income, which they want. They want that to happen. I don't know how they're going to define what is so-called universal. They might not go for a total universal basic income, but might define who gets the money, and it might be $500. It might be $1,000. I mean, who knows? I don't think they can afford $1,000 personally, but who knows? Thank you for the support. Glenn, you as well. Appreciate all your help, guys. Thank you for that. Interviews, are you talking about the lives, Ricardo? The lives, so I make the live videos not private, but unlisted after they go off. So tonight at some point I will actually make it unlisted. Why do I do that? It's because the value that is derived from the live comes like when you are seeing me live, you can ask me questions and so on. Afterwards, there's not much value. If people are watching, it's an hour long, and people watch 7 minutes of it and then get out, that actually like pushes the what they call authority of the channel down. So in terms of like in YouTube's algorithm's eyes, the way it works is, oh, they don't like this guy's videos because he goes in 7 minutes later, he leaves. So that must not be a good video. And then if the video is performing poorly, that makes the overall analytics of the channel perform poorly. So what I do is I'm also simultaneously posting this on Facebook and Twitter. And so you can actually get these on Facebook and Twitter after it's done. It stays up there permanently. So if you want to check it out, definitely check out the Facebook and the Twitter. All right. I'm going to see what kind of questions. This is related to Amazon. Without a brand, you are just selling the same items as everyone else. The items become commoditized and you are at a price race to the bottom. Only businesses like Walmart win that game with volume. 100%. That's why in my Amazon course, the AmazonGPS.com, I actually advise people do not do that, and you'll be more likely to have success at being the highest price, or in the range of the highest prices within your niche. If you can do your job by telework, you most likely easily replaceable by AI. I do believe that's coming. Not necessarily AI, but they can offshore your job quite easily. Trav, yes, agreed. All right. Tech GPS. The crystal ball. We should call David Wong. You should change your name to the Crystal Ball GPS. I would support that. All right. Moving money to the credit. Let's talk about credit. All right. While I talk about this subject, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget, you too on Instagram, if that's even possible. I'm not even sure. And TikTok. Hey, what about TikTok? Hi TikTok. How are you? Okay, so let's talk about credit unions. Credit unions are obviously, they have sort of a whole different vibe going than the major banks. I think it's important to understand, like, fundamentally. So first of all, I have a whole explanation on the main channel of the Money GPS. If you go to see the playlists, scroll down to the bottom of that playlist, all those playlists, you will see one that says like e-course. In that e-course, you look for the one that says credit union. You get a full explanation. But essentially this, credit unions may be safer than a whole bank. Okay, or I shouldn't say a whole bank, excuse me, like a traditional bank. They don't expose themselves to derivatives and all these things. Okay, it's more stable. However, you have to understand, we are talking about the same currency. So when you use this currency that is doomed to failure, you're ultimately holding a stick of dynamite. You're holding onto that stick of dynamite. All right, here we go. Hope it doesn't go off. But you never know when it will. And that's what a currency is. So you should not be saving money, saving your hard-earned dollars in a currency. Look, if you're, keeping just what you need in there because of, your company pays you, it goes in the bank, maybe you got to pay the bills, maybe you want to buy a little this and that, different story. It doesn't really matter so much. Is a credit union safe? Like, would I deem it safer? I mean, yeah, probably. But I mean, I guess it depends on the credit union too. I don't trust any of them. I really don't. All right. A lot of comments here, guys. I like you're talking amongst each other. That's good. Got to build a community. More jobs than unemployed. Yeah, this is what I covered, I think, yesterday too. Didn't believe it until I started seeing signs everywhere for minimum wage jobs, i.e. signs on the street corners. Unbelievable. Yeah, Flippy the robot will be coming. Flippy the robot will be coming. Good video today. Thank you for watching. It was my worst performing video in the last while, so I'm glad you watched it. Do you think that bank bail-ins will be on the table? Yeah, bank bail-ins are I think they're coming, but I think they'll come into the uninsured accounts first. Uninsured accounts first. That's totally my opinion. We won't know until we see it. So the infrastructure bill, I've talked about that at length in my previous videos. If you haven't seen them yet, I would highly recommend checking them out. Talked about the infrastructure nonsense that's in there. There's a couple things, crypto regulation, as well as the they're going to get it passed for the taxing people for every mile driven. What is a bank bail-in? For those who don't know what a bank bail-in is, we're essentially talking about taking money from people's accounts to recapitalize the bank. Cyprus did that. I talked about that in my my second book, how they took money from people's banks to recapitalize the bank. They literally stole money out of people's accounts. It's insane. All right. You should post your Instagram link. Is that what that means? It's just at the Money GPS. The Money GPS on all platforms. This right here, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You just look up the Money GPS. I post anywhere between 5 and 8 different things every single day on these platforms. It wouldn't surprise me if I'm the most prolific social media person in this in the space, in the whole space. There's like 50 different pieces of content on all these different websites out there that I'm posting literally on a daily basis. It's insane. Still the subscribership had actually declined over the past few weeks, which is it's crazy. But anyway, interviews from 5 years ago. Yeah, so if there are interviews from years ago, I didn't make them private. They're not mine. It's probably I was on other people's interviews. And why they made them private, I don't know. Maybe those channels are shut down now. It could be because I was interviewed by a few people that are now no longer on this platform. They were shut down. So it could be that. Do you think corporatism is a problem? Yes. What they call capitalism today, which is not capitalism, corporatism, is a problem. Yeah. I don't have a problem with companies, big companies, small companies, whatever it is. But I definitely think that when you have a small group of people deciding the fate of the many, then you have a problem. Kyle, thank you. Thank you for the support. Kyle O'Connor says, why wouldn't I save in cash if when a market bubble pops? Yeah. How long, the thing is, between now and between that time, your cash will be worthless. If you look at what Warren Buffett does, he doesn't keep cash. He keeps short-term treasuries, and so on bonds of the U.S. government, considering that to be cash, he's getting a very small return and just letting that ride. Not a smart decision over a very long period of time, but when, like in his case here, my opinion, he's simply waiting and waiting and waiting to see for an event and then buy probably half of Wall Street. But I understand what you're saying. I don't trust the banking system, right? So you could, I'm not telling anybody to hold U.S. debt, but I could see the reason why people would want to, if you're just kind of waiting it out. If you want to guarantee, if you want to kind of I use the word guarantee, but if you want to guarantee that your money is going to be, you're making money over a period. So if a portion of your portfolio is in bonds, people would say, why the heck would I buy bonds? And trust me, I understand what you're saying, but they don't dip down, right? If you're getting 2% on that bond, you're going to be getting 2% growth, versus, in a very bad environment for stocks, you lose 30%, 40%, 70%, depending on which stock it is, depending if it's an index and so on. So, diversification in the portfolio, I think, is important. And I talked about that with the interview that I did with just on Sunday with Lance Roberts of Real Investment Advice. He talks about the importance of bonds. We can argue about are bonds good or not, and the countries will stay solvent or not. But just in general, like, will countries go bankrupt or will companies go bankrupt? And I think both of them ultimately will go bankrupt. So which ones? Well, we'll see. We'll see in time. All right. Got a question on Instagram asking what I do personally. I do not. I don't talk about what I personally do, but I think people should find what would work for them. Is it better to decouple from China and rebuild the manufacturing base of the USA, or continue with the addiction of Chinese goods, making the Chinese richer? So you should have manufacturing. Shouldn't necessarily need to decouple. You should be friends. You should do business. You should, if they want the grain, grow the grain, send it over. You don't have to, be an adversary. That's very, like, it only benefits a very small group of people. People think, oh yes, we're being nationalistic. Yeah, we're being tough and all this stuff. It makes the military-industrial complex very happy. Very happy. What did the Rothschilds do many years ago? They funded both sides of the war. I mean, you can't get any more corrupt than that. I mean, funding both sides of the war, my goodness. And, people probably didn't say anything. They're just like, oh, these guys are fantastic. Difference between a haircut and a bail-in. Well, it's a haircut in your bank account. So in that respect, it's the same thing. All right. Links to all in the description would be helpful. I got a lot of links in the descriptions of my videos. I don't know which one this was referencing exactly, but there's a lot of links in the description. A lot of different stuff. Do you know how the Mexican peso was able to take off a few zeros of the currency in 92? They added silver to their 10, 20, and 50 peso coins until 1995. I wasn't aware of that. That's interesting. Just until 95. So you're saying just for those 3 years? Is that what you're suggesting? I don't know. They really devalued around that period of time. I'm aware of that. I read that in at least one book that I had read through. I don't remember which book it was, but just seeing the devaluation of their currency and what happened. They devalued intentionally, and in that time, people need to realize this, how it's different from today. During that time, so before 2000, things were different in that you could have a problem in Mexico, you could have a problem in Asia, you could have a problem in Europe, but they were all asynchronous. Now today, 2000, and then it became even stronger 2008 and 9, and now today, I mean, let's be honest, it's all one market. You see that, you had a place to put your money and all this stuff. Now today, anyway, when you saw back during that time frame, Mexico devalued their currency significantly, and what happened? They were stronger in their exports. So you can get that machine going again, get the economy going again by devaluing your currency. I understand that it's a sort of fine line to balance that. But now today, everyone's saying, I'm just going to devalue the currency too. And everybody is printing. Everybody, even the stronger currencies like the Swiss franc. I mean, we saw what they did years ago. They devalued to 120 to the euro. All right, we got about 200 people in the house. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Come on. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. 143 likes. Thank you for that. How does buying government bonds hedge against inflation? Aren't precious metals better for retaining purchasing power? Like, say, if you're on, like, your typical financial analyst or money manager, they like the bonds because they believe that the governments will remain solvent, and I can look for something that's a yield that's higher than the current inflation rate so that I stay positive. And so there's not many choices today. You got to take high risk. But that's what they do. And precious metals, they don't like them. I'll tell you right now, they don't like them. It's part of the stigma that's, what was the quote somebody told me? A money manager, somebody who manages money for high net worth clients, said it has no economic value. I think that's what he said to me. It has no economic value. How dare you? Wonder how that guy's doing now. All right, Warren Buffett video. I may stitch it to my crypto community. Thank you very much. Warren Buffett video I got on TikTok has 25,000 views in a matter of 2 days. So it's actually performing. My TikTok is performing better than my YouTube, which is hilarious. But hey, there we go. Thank you for the support. Only until 1995, when the peso was $4 to $1. Nowadays, inflation is creeping up. It's $20 to $1. Yeah, see, this is how you can, things get out of control, right? 1971, Nixon pulls the world off the gold standard. That's gone. What happens to the debt? It just goes. Let me try and do this. Yeah, okay. Up, 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 up. No stopping it. It just keeps going up, keeps going up. And now we're trying to figure out, I wonder where all this inflation is coming from. It's because they removed the metals, it doesn't need to be a metal, right? It could have been anything, but they just used gold. Previous cases, we've seen silver, other countries use silver, so on. And so, this only shows you that it does not do well for the saver, and for those on fixed incomes, they are the worst off. The worst, they are feel the brunt of it. All right. Haircuts are when they reduce your benefits or amount promised to you. Bail-ins are when they take your actual money. Yeah, I agree. Let's see what we got here. I missed so many. Uncensored, yeah. I wish I could talk for real. I've got to always censor myself. GPS, another sign of high debt worldwide is the lack of cities bidding for the Olympics. Yeah, right now especially, right? They're just like, I do not want that risk. I do not want that bad publicity. We'll wait it out. We're in so much debt right now that we just can't afford anymore. A lot of times it just doesn't end up well for these cities, right? It's not like a net positive. So I agree. We got people on TikTok asking to go live. I can't go live with you at the same time I'm going live on 5 platforms. I am on 5 platforms right now simultaneously: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I got Instagram over here. I got TikTok over here. And I ask everybody to hit that thumbs up button. That's how you tell the algorithm that this guy's got some important things to say. If you're just joining in the last little while, I have been talking about the commercial mortgage-backed securities. I showed you what a commercial mortgage-backed security was, showed you the derivatives, giving you a breakdown of what I believe is the weakest link in the financial system today. That is the commercial mortgage-backed securities. These derivatives are a bunch of garbage rolled up into some garbage, and that's just the way it is, all right? All right, let's see. Okay. Would you consider metals to be anti-debt units? Never thought of it like that. In a sense, yeah. Because you're like the way that the financial system is today, when we use it, it's basically debt. You take out money, it's a loan, it's debt. But when you use it to buy metal instead, you're kind of extracting that from the current garbage system. So yeah, in a sense, I could agree with that. Yeah. We need a grain-backed currency. I'm not sure how that works because it's really volatile. Um, but maybe even a basket, maybe a basket of a bunch of different things, right? So it's not just one thing. Yeah, the problem with those type of crops is, you have some sort of worm or whatever, sort of crops and this and that, and suddenly you don't have enough, and I don't know, could be a problem. But grains, food in general, obviously so important for many reasons. Cardano is the next ETH. Who knows? I've been hearing about that. I really don't know. I think we're so far off in terms of cryptocurrencies. No matter what anybody says, I believe, in my opinion, that we are very far off from what the goals are. I think, there are 47 million transactions per day. It's like, has anybody ever really spent it to buy anything with it? Well, no, it's going to go up higher, so I'm not going to spend it. Okay, so the transactions are happening, behind the scenes kind of thing. I really think that the technology is probably going to do good in the long term, but I just don't know. I really just don't know. Let's see. Appreciate that. Vietnam is an ally. That's right. Don't have to battle them. Do you think we'll ever go back to a gold-backed currency? I don't think so, unless they do some sort of thing like IMF, like an IMF, and pretend, oh yeah, we have all this gold here. It's never been audited, but we have all this gold here, so we're kind of gold-backed. Maybe that's how they'll convince the world. Came here, Truth. Thank you for that. How long do you think they can keep kicking the can down the road? I think it just cycles. I think they just bring us through these cycles constantly. So, all right. Let's see what we got here. Silver has microbial properties. Silver's fantastic for many, many different things. I mean, just think about how many different things silver is being used for. It's crazy. There's a lot of talk about Cuba, North Korea, China, nothing about Vietnam. Why? Different situation there, no doubt. I know a lot of factories that have switched over production from China to Vietnam, but the logistics there are just not even close to what China is. Like, if anybody has had to deal with China directly, it's just like things are bang on. Okay, it's just precise. It's crazy. They are so far ahead, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you say, oh, you know what, you could be the factory of the world. We're going to get rid of all our manufacturing. You're going to be the factory of the world, and everything's going to be just fine. But is it? Is that long term? Is that intelligent? I don't think so. But I'll tell you right now, looking at, like, I have tried to manufacture products in the United States. People say, well, I'm only buying USA. Wouldn't that be nice if you could only buy what was produced in your own country, wherever you live? Try to do it. Try to get simple goods manufactured in your own country. And then you think, oh yeah, I bought this thing and it was manufactured in my country. And then you see there's a semiconductor inside of it. And then you realize, well, okay, well, maybe it's not all manufactured there. And then you come to find that the product is it's 50 pieces, 49 of them are from a different country. They bring it to yours, they add the one piece in, and they call it made in USA or whatever. I mean, come on. Nothing's made in our countries anymore. Very, very, very few things out of the total thing. People think that, yeah. I'm just telling you from my experience. And I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying what has happened is good. Please understand. What's the safe way to short the dollar if you live in the USA? In a sense, many people buy gold and silver. If you believe in the destruction of the currency, you can buy precious metals, but I would just say real assets. If you hold real assets, you take advantage of any devaluation of the currency. And I've explained, David Wong, if you're in the house, I have explained previously, shown you what happened throughout the 70s. You got to understand, Federal Reserve was there in the 70s. During this period, oh yeah, inflation was so fantastic. So fantastic, wasn't it? Inflation was actually helping the stocks in the beginning, but then it turned against the stocks. And I showed you Clorox as one example where they said, we're getting hurt because of inflation. And of course, brought the stock down from its peak significantly. I think it's like half, it's like 50% of where it was at its peak. The world economy is recovering, and I expect assets to climb in value. Renters and those living paycheck to paycheck will fall further behind. So what a great name, by the way. It's a fantastic name. What are you trying to say? Like what are you referencing that I said? Can you just clarify? What are you talking about? Levi's jeans aren't made in the US anymore? Yep. Absolutely. What kind of products? Like anything I've ever seen. Right on. Oh, this guy's been spamming. I realize that now. Okay. Got some spam going on here. All right. Okay, let's see what we got. Real estate, real asset. Yes, it is. Real estate is a real asset, but you got to remember, you don't buy something just because it's a real asset. You got to also look at where you are. Does it make sense to buy it? Okay, you got to look at the price. You have to be able to cash flow your real estate day one. If it doesn't cash flow day one, you're getting into a liability. You're not getting into an asset. You're getting into a liability. But there are places you can buy today that will cash flow day one. It doesn't happen as much as it did, 5 years ago or 10 years ago or what have you, but it's possible. What good play long food prices? There are different, are you suggesting what stocks you can buy if you think food prices are going to rise? You would want to look at the ETFs that are around agriculture. There are different companies, producers and so on, for example, John Deere, people play John Deere if they think agriculture is going to go up, but you got to do your research on your own. Just like on Reddit, buy this stock. It's going to this price by this date. This is not financial advice. I love that. I love that stuff. I went to Reddit a couple times during January, February, and at first I thought it was funny. I was shocked. Okay, initially shocked, then I was laughing, and then I was scared. All within, like, I think I went 2 days in a row, and just the second time I was like, okay, this is scary. Did I miss a lot? Just got here. I gotta leave soon. Thank you for coming in, though. Isn't it a good thing that you have a product with different pieces from around the world? Didn't you say we should trade and be friends? Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that. Like, if another country, so for example, US grows the soybeans, they ship them to China. That's fine. But we have become entirely reliant on China, the US, Canada, the UK, all these different countries. It's crazy. And by the way, my friends in the UK, if there are any in here, I know it's late for you there, but I don't know how you do it. I shipped product from China into the UK, and it took, I'm not exaggerating, 6 months. 6 months for a small, like, I don't even know how many it was. Let's say it was like 200 units. 200 units of a product. It took 6 months. How does the UK do how is it surviving? We manufacture nothing. It's scary. Got to sign up for the insiders. Yes. Yes. Congratulations on your 7 shares of Amazon. Yes, yes, yes. You need those 7 shares, guys. Come on. Hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate that. Insiders right here, guys. Insiders. Get on the insiders. I'm going to leave in 5 minutes, all right? Would you leverage paid for agriculture to buy more? I wouldn't want to take a risk like that personally, but I'm a risk adverse individual. When you're talking about land, when you're talking about farmland and all these different things, we're talking about safe bets. We're talking about something that we want to not necessarily go crazy in price. We want to maintain the value of it. We want to have something real. So I wouldn't take a huge risk with that. What's your guess for the national debt? Currently, it's almost 29 trillion, I think. The national debt in the next 3 years, it's probably going to add, so probably, well, I don't know, maybe 33. Could be 33 trillion, maybe a little bit more. Depends if there's a crisis in between now and then. 33 at minimum. Like, that's my lowball estimate is 33 to 35, I would say. We were about to get an expropriation settlement from the city of Edmonton back in 2013. It will be an 8-figure settlement. Boomer that wants to go in on commercial real estate, I say is stupid. That's crazy. Commercial real estate. Maybe. I mean, it could be. I don't think so. Like, I just don't think so. If anything, you like, in my opinion, the most solid real estate that you can find is multifamily real estate, because when times are tough, people will rent. They need to rent. And I understand that in certain places, you had the rent moratoriums, eviction moratoriums, all these different things put in place. But there's some places where jobs are moving in, people are still employed. You look at areas like Florida and other places where vacancy rates are quite low, people are still paying their bills, and so on. So it's not so much of a huge problem there as other cities where you have major problems. So you got to choose wisely. Multifamily real estate, I think, is the most solid. Is there gold in Fort Knox? What's your guess? There's probably some gold. There's probably some gold there, yeah. But the little munchkin went there like a few years ago. I loved it. And he went, it was as if they were the moon landing or something. It was like, oh, everything's here. Everything's here. Trust me. I look like the most untrustworthy person on earth, but you could trust me. You can trust me. It's all here. He tweeted it out. I mean, it was like a spit in the face of everybody. It was hilarious. It was so hilarious. All right. All right, guys. Somebody's asking on Twitter, is crypto deflationary? There's the argument that, like, for example, Bitcoin is a deflationary asset. There's only 21 million. Some of it's lost, this and that. So it's actually much less than 21 million. There's only going to be so many. Money comes into it and then doesn't necessarily find its way out. People would anyway. Is it deflationary? In a sense, yes, but I think that people buy it for speculative purposes. The vast majority of the investment into it, especially within the last few years, is speculative. What do you think about the recent bull market in crypto? Let me look at it just 1 second before I give you... This question's coming in from Instagram, TikTok. I got some info for you. I know you love your Bitcoin. 45,761 as I record this. Things are still looking pretty strong. I'm looking at all the technicals. It is certainly a little bit overbought recently. That doesn't stop Bitcoin a lot of times. We're still inside the Bollinger Bands. I'm looking at the RSI being at right around 70. So we're getting to the overbought territory on there, but it's still above 50. I like to look at the RSI in two ways. Where when we're above 50, that is bullish. It's positive. It's yes, we're at 70, which is technically overbought, but doesn't mean that we come down from that point. I'm looking at the MACD, which is showing a positive histogram today. Things are looking pretty strong on there. We're above the 20-day moving average. We're above the 50-day moving average. So for right now, things are looking good. Does it continue on forever? Who knows? I think the crypto regulations being passed are probably going to have some downward pressure, apply some downward pressure on the price of cryptocurrencies, but we'll see. BTC is going to $0 when they tax it and ask for your wallet ID. They already are taxing it. I don't think so. I don't think it'll go to zero. We are a nation of only consumers, not producers. There's a. I'll tell you though, the U.S. produces a lot of Hollywood movies, Netflix, and whatever you call that. Certainly, but it's changed. Like, people don't realize they especially if they haven't traveled out of their own country, the infrastructure of their countries is far better, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Like, you travel to another country, and I mean, even like, for instance, like something simple like cell phone reception. You go to some places, major cities, and you're not getting reception, and you go to like an older city, even in Europe, the cost of that is a fraction, and the reception is better, and you're getting more services and everything for a cheaper price. I mean, it's crazy the way that things work. But anyway, besides the point, I'm gonna stay on just for a few more minutes, guys. I'm gonna work on my my video of the day. Appreciate all the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that. 200 likes right now. 200 people in the house. Let's do it. 3,200 playbacks, it's telling me. Let's see what I can do here. If I can do this. I've never tried this before. Let's see this. It says pin merchandise into the chat. I don't even know. It's freezing. Anyway, whatever. The infrastructure is not there with crypto. We need internet and phones. Yeah, people have internet and phones are using them, and I think that we're moving towards this digitized environment regardless. So I think we're going that way. They just want to tax people. You're the nicest advisor on the internet. I'm not an advisor, not an advisor, but certainly I do want to help people in any way I can. Okay. Why not spend less and tax less? Yes. Oh, there it is. There's my merchandise. Oh, I see how it works. That's cool. Spend less in tax. Yes. Yeah, the government should be doing that. I agree. But I think taxes will just increase. If you were in the border of the US and Canada and you had to choose between the two countries and live there for the next 10 years, I would be on the Canadian side. There's not even a question about it. No question. Panic buy? Yeah, I think we're actually seeing panic buying happening now. I did a live interview just a few days ago with somebody in the shipping industry, and we're talking about this. And I think what's happening today, I have this theory, and I've seen the data, I've shown data surrounding it, is that right now today the demand isn't that great, but companies are saying, okay, well, are there going to be lockdowns? Are there going to be supply chain problems? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, especially as we move into fall and into the end of the year. You know what? I'm going to buy 3 times as much. I'm going to buy 5 times as much. How much can I get? Because also they're thinking, hey, inflation, it's going to make this stuff more expensive. So I'm going to invest today. I'm going to buy 5 times as much now. So that's creating this artificial demand. So I think, I think that could be part of the issue that we're seeing. I made 50% on my BTC. Good stuff. So you sold it off? Educator? Yeah. I'm a student. Awareness, not advice. Yeah. I'm a student of this stuff. So every day I do my digging, and all I'm doing is arranging it and trying to just simplify it, get rid of the jargon, get rid of all the nonsense, and bring you just the absolute details. And in line with that, connect some of the dots. That's what it's important. One of the things that I really want to do is basically, like, you see the video of the day, and I always bring it up, and I've got like the 3 points that come in on the side. Or today we're going to talk about repo. Today we're going to talk about the Fed. And I want to somehow section off the video a little bit more, maybe with a title, so that when I'm getting into the repo section, it doesn't just flip over to another article. Okay, now we're talking about repos. And then it flips over to the next article. Okay, like I want to actually make maybe a black screen, and then, you see repo. And then I come into that. So it's like divided, and there's the timestamps, and then things come up on the screen. I want to, make it a little bit better of a package each video. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that, because when I do something, I do it every single day, as you know. So I sold half, retaining half, looking to add at around 41K if yeah, good stuff. That's what you do, right? Some people say like they've made money, they've whatever, but it isn't until you sell that you've made money, and that's good. And now, you see what you do. I know a lot of people, they sell and they go put into some stable coin, and then they see what the interest does for them and so on, which is interesting. Other people, they just move it out completely and they go into a different asset. What I would say, this is just my opinion, exchanges are too dangerous. Take what you want from that. Exchanges are not the place to keep money. I'm moving to Canada then. Why would Canada have a more prosperous outlook over the next 10 years? So I just think that there's probably a lot more chaos that's going to occur in the United States versus Canada. But Canada's not positioned well, let me tell you. Real estate is the weakest link in Canada. I'll tell you that. Long term, Canada has a lot of fresh water, which is fantastic. So that's really good. Extreme levels of debt. They have no way to get out of the debt. That's an issue. I don't see as much chaos and sort of problems, between different groups and so on, as I do in the United States. I think that would pose a problem for stability. Whenever you have instability, you can't have prosperity. I think that's what it is. But that's just an observation. Public storage seems like a sweet business if you can get the real estate. Yeah, that's key. A lot of people are going towards that, storage lockers and so on. And I think on a scale, if you're in a condo, if you're in a condominium, there are lockers available. People rent these lockers. So you can invest, let's say, $3,000, but you might be able to charge $75 a month. After a few years, you've made your money back and now you're making all passive income. You don't really have to deal with problems with tenants and floods and toilets and all these things, and you can get in for a relatively small amount of money, and yet you're making some passive income. It's great, right? If it's paying one of your bills, that's not bad. That's not bad. And then of course you can get like storage facilities. That's the next level. When we start trimming zeros, Venezuela style, will they trim 2, 3, 4? Yeah, I don't know. I think that we've only seen, like, we're at the beginning. I think we're just at the beginning of this all. I bought puts on weak stocks. Yes. We'll see, right? I'm interested to see how that goes. Because I'm looking at the market is looking rather weak in general. However, let me check that right now. Especially on the Dow Jones, it was up quite a bit. Still kind of in this range though. Has moved up though. It's still being supported by that. Like, it's not even touching the 20-day moving average even on the Dow. So it's looking rather strong. If I look at I know you guys can't see it on my screen. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, see, like for example, the Nasdaq has been at this level for 1 month, but it's been. I'm not denying the fact that this has moved up considerably. Don't get me wrong. S&P is moving up a little bit. It just doesn't have that strength that it used to. I think they're looking for the infrastructure bill to pass, the debt ceiling to be raised, perhaps another stimulus check, and then take off higher. Canada doesn't have free speech. Right. I'm aware of very few countries that there is free speech. Very, very. Did you get some Cardano? Last week I told you, you read it. It was 135. It was over 175. Headed to $5 soon. My Canadian bro. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a real risk-on mentality today, and I think that if there's a deflation that comes through, I think it's gonna hit some of these cryptos, which is unfortunate. Money GPS, taking it to the next level. Truth. Thank you. All right. If I've got 1,000 in the bank and they trim 3 zeros, I've only been able to withdraw $1. Yeah, for real. I think, it'll be, well, not 1,000 in your bank. At that point, it's going to be $1 billion in your bank, and then they trim 3 zeros off. But at that point, it doesn't even matter. Once they're getting to the point of trimming zeros, the currency has no value. Like, if you've ever seen some of the videos about it, Indigo Traveler, I've talked about him before, that he went to Venezuela, and you see, like, they tell you the only way people are surviving is they're getting US dollars from outside, then they can pay for the stuff inside the country. Nobody can actually support themselves using that currency. For TikTok, yeah, you're talking about regarding Canada's outlook. Are you talking about household debt or government debt? I'm talking about both, actually. Both of them are very terrible. The government debt is excessive. The amount that they pumped in throughout this period, 2020, was more than most other countries comparing to the GDP. So for the size of the economy, they went ballistic, absolutely ballistic. In terms of the personal debt, it's some of the highest in the world as well. But it's all in the real estate, and they say, well, real estate can never go down. So I don't know. That's what they say. They think that things just go on forever and ever. All right, Chaz, thank you for coming in. Deflation hitting crypto. Yeah, so I think if there's a major market crash, like stocks, real estate, and everything, I think at least initially that cryptocurrencies will feel the brunt of that as well. I think everything kind of falls, and in that scenario, if that's how it is, and then I think that, like, if you look at financial crisis time frame, very few assets are rising, and gold and silver come up because of that uncertainty. So I think that people, like, not people who love cryptos, not those people, but sort of all the speculators, which is the large majority of the people who are holding on to it. A lot of these big players they're just trying to make money. They don't care about the future of cryptocurrencies and so on, which could be really good. But I think it's a lot of speculation around it. Lives are tough. Truth is tough. It's true. She loves the truth. Yes. GPS man, thanks for the info and the truth. Everything will fall. It's true. When the market crashes, everything goes. Yeah, I think that everything, like, and the thing that's crazy about it is, it's not just one country anymore. Now we're all tied together, like it or not, and everything comes down simultaneously. So it's not like, oh, my US assets are not doing well, I'm just going to move my money over to Europe. Oh, Europe's not doing well, I'll move my money to Asia. And so it's all going down. It's all going down. So that makes it much more difficult, first of all, to be an investor. But at the same time, it makes things actually get worse because people, they're tending to diversify much less. Everybody's putting their money US. So what do you think the next crisis is going to look like? I mean, it's going to be so painful on the way down. It's going to be crazy. But who knows? Janet Yellen said there'll never be another crisis in her lifetime. So in your own videos, you come to the conclusion that fiat money is carefully manipulated to benefit mainly the rich. This is precisely why crypto long-term holds are the only true bet. Get in soon. Yeah, I don't know how you came to the second part. Like, I hope that there are good cryptocurrencies that come out there. I think we're like so well in, like, we're so much in the infancy of it that 10 years from now there may not be a thing called Cardano. It may not even exist. But of course you would, if you knew that it's not going to happen overnight, so you would move your money around. But the point is, we don't know what the future has in store, and we don't even know what cryptocurrencies will do during a deflationary period, a banking crisis, a credit crunch. We literally have no idea. So it's hard. It's hard to determine that. Okay. Trust in the Janet. What if Satoshi is a Fed? Who knows? Who knows? I don't really know, but who knows? Okay, guys, I'm going to take off. 1 hour and 15 minutes is enough for me. I'm exhausted. Need to work on the video of the day. So you definitely check that out tomorrow morning. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, please do, because Yesterday's video, I got into so much detail. I really clarified the points that I wanted to make about the Federal Reserve, and I actually show you what the Fed president had said. It's crazy about the taper, but we could be right around the corner from a taper. Wow. It'd be interesting to see it happen. I've been documenting it every single day. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, take care. See you on the